are going to be doing our lesson on graphing with x and y intercepts. So graphing with x and y intercepts, first thing I'm going to do is draw a line on our grid below. So I'm going to draw a green line. So we have my green line there. The next thing we want to do is identify where the x and y intercepts are. Well, I have my x-intercept underlined in blue. We know that our x-axis is our horizontal axis, so we're going to label that. When we're traveling along our horizontal axis and our line crosses through that, our x-axis, our line crosses through that x-axis, that is our x-intercept. So we're going to put a little dot right where our x-intercept is. When we're traveling along that line, so we're going up our line right here, and we know that along our x-axis, our y values are always equal to 0. So at that point, y is equal to 0. Our next one we're going to look at is our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is where our line crosses the y-axis. So I'm going to put a little y here. So our line, you can see here, crosses our y-axis right at this point. At this point, you haven't traveled right or left yet on the x-axis, so you know that x is equal to 0. So when you're solving for your y-intercept, you can set x equal to 0. Next thing we're going to do is an example. So we're going to graph the equation here. So it's 3x minus 2y equals 6. First thing we're going to do is solve our x-intercept. Well, like we said just before, that our x-intercept is where our y value is equal to 0. So what we can do here is set our y value equal to 0 in our equation. When we're doing that, we're going to be left with 3x minus 2 multiplied by 0 equals 6. So when you go through that, anything multiplied by 0 you know is equal to 0. This line here you don't need to really write. You know that it's 3x minus 0 equals 6. You don't have to write that because you don't need to have the 0 there. Your next line is going to look like 3x equals 6. So you don't have to write the 0 at all. When you have 3x equal to 6, here below, 3 is multiplied by your x there. So to undo multiplication here, you're going to have to do division. So think of kind of doing the opposite. So we're going to undo it by dividing by the 3. So if I divide here by 3 on the left side, I have to do that to the right side. So I'm going to divide the right side also by 3. That gets rid of my 3's with my x that are multiplied by my x. Well, if you look at x equals 6 divided by 3, we know right away that x is equal to 2. Our next point we're going to look at is our y-intercept. So our y-intercept is where we know that our x value is equal to 0, so we can set x equal to 0. The next thing we're going to do is plug 0 for our x value. So you're going to get 3 multiplied by 0 minus 2y equals 6. So I didn't write this line here for the next one. So we know that 3 multiplied by 0 is 0. So you're going to have negative 2y equals 6. When you have negative 2y equal to 6 here, you're going to see that, okay, well my negative 2 is multiplied by my y. So we're going to have to do the opposite. You're going to have to undo it. And you undo that negative 2 and the y multiplication there by dividing. So you divide both sides by negative 2. When you get 6 divided by negative 2, you're going to get negative 3. So we know that our y-intercept here is negative 3. So we are going to plot these points. Once my pen goes, I'm going to plot the 2 points. So here we know our x-intercept is 2. So we're traveling on our x-axis. We're going to go over to 2 and put a point right there. We know our y-intercept is negative 3, so we're going to go down to negative 3 and put a point right there. Next thing we're going to do is connect these points with a line. And there you go, you've graphed 3x minus 2y equals 6 with x and y intercepts. We're going to do one more example quickly. So graph the following equation. 2x minus 3y equals negative 12. So to start, we want to find our x-intercept. When we have our x-intercept, we know that y is equal to 0, so we can set y equal to 0. So you'll have 2x minus 3 multiplied by 0 equals negative 12. So you'll have 2x minus 0 equals negative 12, but you don't need to write that 0. So you're left with 2x equals negative 12. Well, the 2 is multiplied by the x, so we have to undo it. When we undo it, we are dividing by 2. So we get x equals negative 12 divided by 2. When we divide by 2, we get negative 6. Positive divided by negative gives us a negative. Next thing we're going to do is solve for our y-intercept. When we're solving for our y-intercept, we set our x value equal to 0. When we're setting our x value equal to 0, we know that we're going to have 2 multiplied by 0 minus 3y equals negative 12. So we multiply by 0 here, so you're going to get negative 3y equals negative 12. Well, negative 3y equals negative 12, negative and a negative create a positive. So when we divide them, so the negative 3 is multiplied by the y, you have to undo it, so you're going to divide. And 12 divided by 3 gives us 4. So we're going to plot these points. I'm going to plot negative 6. I'm going to go 1, 2, 5, 6. And put a point right there. And then I'm going to plot on my y-axis 4. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, and put a point right there. We're going to connect our points with a line, and then you have successfully graphed the equation 2x minus 3y equals negative 12. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you answer the questions online, and have a good day.